are like right at the back. It's like, you're doing this. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? What's that all about?
Acupuncture, baby.
I'm sure. So your website's right there. Okay, I guess we could start with the music.
Struggling to come to grips with reality. Confusion and chaos have become part of me. I seek answers to know where my liberation lies. Only in peace and calmness does that clarity arise. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. So many voices, so many interpretations. No answers given, only outer temptations. Where can I find that truth inside of me? Realization of what I am is all I'm wanting to see. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. No more redirection, ending the contemplation. Forget fighting reflection. Outer world's a projection. Internal is the cause, external's an effect, put it on pause. I'm silencing the noise, centering, entering void. Truth is beautifully subtle, the voice without a voice. Heart and mind shall settle, making decisions now, escaping illusions of choice. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmission. The wisdom transmissions.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gents. Good to be with you all once again today. And of course, Breanne is joining me here today for our Wisdom Transmissions Live, where we're going to be taking some personal and general questions from everybody. So of course, if you are donation based, then you're going to have your questions answered in priority sequence. And for everybody else, when there's no donations, we'll be getting to the other questions on the chat. So, Breanne, how's things going on your end?
Hello. It's so nice to be back again, and I'm excited to dive into some tarot readings. But yes, it's going phenomenal.
Good.
I have to say, even this morning, I had a nice smile on my face. I had a client send me a review in regards to one of the sessions we did for the tarot and spell packages, and things are just completely aligning for her. So that just is such a nice, beautiful synchronicity when those happen, and a confirmation that things are really coming together.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Wonderful. So again, guys, I apologize. Last week I was not able to do an Akashic Intelligence report. It was a pretty hectic week last week, so I wasn't having time to do it. But I will have time to do one this week. I'll probably do one either today or tomorrow. Maybe get it pre-recorded for Friday. Because Breanne and I won't be here this weekend. We're going to be traveling a little bit. So I'll have the pre-recorded Akashic Intelligence report that I was meant to do last week for this week. So my apologies. I know some of you are probably looking forward to that. So where is it? Where's the Akashic Intelligence report? It was a hectic week last week, so wasn't able to get it all done, but this week, most definitely. Okay, so first and foremost, we're just going to go ahead and start off with some announcements. So the first announcement is the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour. So I have talked about this going back a couple of months. Now we're about 3/4 of the way sold out of our tour. We do have a few spots left, so as I've talked about, you get to go to Ancient Egypt with me and with Breanne as well too, so both of us are going. And we already have quite a few other people that are along for the trip as well. And so this is the Higher Self, the Akashic Records, and the Star Ancestor Initiation, which means I'll be connecting a lot more with the Star Ancestors, looking into a lot of the ancient gods of Egypt as well too, and actually doing a type of Star Ancestor Initiation that will help you to connect to the Akashic Records on your own. So that's the true beautiful essence of the trip here, why we call it the Halls of Amenti tour. But we'll have 9 days and 8 nights tour to Cairo. We're going to be doing a cruise as well too. You're actually going to have a private group tour into the Great Pyramid of Giza. And my goodness, there's been a lot of talk about Giza in the news, about them finding some ancient structures under the pyramids. Now there's been a kind of some snake oil salesman with it, I feel. But there is indeed structures underneath the pyramid. Maybe that's something we can tune into when we go there. For those of you who are going to be coming with me and Breanne to the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour, we can look into that. There's so much of that. And of course, the event coordinator, Max, he's been commenting, so Brad, do you hear about this? All this stuff that's happening under Giza? So, well, it's a kind of a good synchronicity that we're going there in November, and we can tune into it a lot more ourselves. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to have workshops there as well, too. You'll be able to talk to Adronis as well, too. We're going to look to see if we can have some extraterrestrial contact in Egypt, not just through myself or through Adronis, but also physically. We had that when we were in the UK. We had some people who have had extraterrestrial encounters, personal extraterrestrial encounters, physical extraterrestrial encounters, fae encounters as well too. So we're looking to do the same in Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour. So Brad, how do I sign up? You just go to the website on the bottom right hand corner here of the graphic. That is wowtours.de, wowtours.de. Go ahead and check out the website and you can register there. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this. This is happening in November of this year. It's going to be really exciting.
Yay!
Yes. Okay, and we're going to go to some other announcements. So Etherics right now, everything is 45% off. We have a brand new product that I'm going to be promoting later today. It's not really a brand new product. I've had it before. It's called the Manifestation Spheres. So this is almost like having a genie in a bottle. It's worked with a lot of advanced frequencies, vibrations, highly amplified as well too, to function as a very powerful manifestation and healing amplifier. Okay, I'll see. I don't think I have it on the website yet. It's in the back end, but this will be up later on today, and they are available. I have a lot more of those. So again, you can check that out. Etherics.co. It's not under the 45% discount, but believe me, it's going to be at a great price, and it helps. I originally sold about 10 of them going back a few months ago, and a lot of people who have bought it were getting incredible benefits from it. So I'm looking forward to launching this again. They're called the Hand of Jupiter Manifestation Spheres. They will be available later today. If you're subscribed to the Telegram group on Etherics, you can get informed, or if you're already on our newsletter, you'll be getting informed as well too. So either way. Okay, and of course, wisdom transmissions. Private live sessions, 3 questions by email, full body scan, Akashic record sessions, energy cord attunements. We have online courses. We have the classroom as well too. So go ahead and check out Wisdom Transmissions. And of course, most importantly, don't forget about the free e-course. Okay, that's a Trauma Transcendence Technique 10-day free e-course sign up. So again, it's just this little button here on the right. You go down and you sign up here, and you'll start getting the free 10 days of the Trauma Transcendence Technique. So again, please make sure to sign up. I am getting ready to publish my book here pretty soon. It's going into final phase, so I'm looking forward to bringing out the Trauma Transcendence Technique book as well. Then we go to predictmyastrology.com. So predictmyastrology is ready to go here, and of course we have several different types of reports. If I scroll down here, we have personal mantra reports. These are mantras that we discover through your chart. Personal questions, you can ask up to any three questions you want pertaining to Vedic astrology. Our highly programmable AI is extremely gifted with getting some accuracy. I've been testing it as well too. It's doing very well. We have topics report discussing any topics. We have love compatibility report for you and your partner. We have 2025 annual reports, what the year looks like for you. And then we have the all-in-one deluxe report, which is a combination of all these things together as one. So these are all available here on predictmyastrology.com. Go ahead and check it out. And then, of course, we have Breanne's website, readingswithbreanne.com. So again, Breanne is doing tarot readings. She is doing crystal ball readings. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Crystal ball readings. She does crystal grids. She's doing feng shui as well, too. So again, if you want to have a reading with Breanne, it's readingswithbreanne.com. And people who have a first-time session with her, you can get 10% off. And you just use the coupon code WELCOME10. And you can check out Breanne's website at readingswithbreanne.com. She has taken on clients. She's actually a lot more quicker at getting clients than I am because I take a bit more longer. I only do it about once or twice a week. She's doing it all the time. So go to Readings with Breanne. She'll get you in quickly, and you're going to have an amazing session with her. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. We're ready. I'm sure you guys have some nice, juicy questions for both of us as well, too. So remember that Breanne is here, so if you guys can ask her some questions, too, that's always great. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to start off with the donation-based questions first. So again, if you do have any donation-based questions, you are welcome to ask any personal questions. Okay, so any personal readings that you have, we only accept personal readings by donation. Okay, so that's just a heads up. And we'll get started. So let's start off here with our first donator, Madame Loretta. Nice to meet you. I think this is your first super, so congratulations. All right, so this is from Madame Loretta. Grand day, Brad and Breanne. I hope you are feeling much better, Breanne. Firstly, I would like to say thank you both for your amazing love for Gaia. I would like to have an overview, moving back home, and financial overview. Okay, so I guess I'll let Breanne start off with that. So just an overview, moving back home, and financial overview. Okay, sounds good.
So let's see what we have for Loretta. Ooh, moving back home, you've got 3 major arcanas coming up here. So this seems
good.
like there's like a big significance in terms of you moving back home. I do see it as a good alignment for you. I mean, maybe there's a little bit with that moon. There could be a little bit of just like maybe fears or just uncertainties about how everything's going to line up here. But even looking at that and your finances, it looks like there is a sense of, you know what I'm actually getting? I think when you move, if you make that decision to move back home, I do see lots of collaborations and things coming together. It's like a whole new reset with this move, and I think it does align very nicely with your energy. So you getting that little nudge, definitely listen to those little nudges because this is a big synchronicity, especially with 3 major arcanas. So I say absolutely with you moving home, maybe not right immediately. I mean, this is your journey, my friend, but it feels like this is maybe coming in the months ahead. And it does feel like it may be a little bit of an exhaustion as well. So make sure when you are going through this move, take time out for yourself as well, because the 4 of Swords is a sense of like reset and sometimes it's a bit of a burnout. But it looks really, really positive, even for finances, like really lovely. You have lots to do here with collaborations and a lot of opportunities coming towards you with that Ace of Pentacles. So it looks really positive. And yeah, look at back of the deck is that 6 of Swords, which is my usually card for moving and overseas and getting kind of resituated as well. So it looks like there's a lot of good energy coming up for you here.
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, again, thank you very much, Madam Loretta, for your question. Appreciate it. Let's go on to our next one here. This is from Gijo Matthew. This one is for Adronis. Adronis, could you please share some more information about the guru, Shri M, whom you had mentioned? Shri M. I don't think he's never mentioned a Shri M before, whom you had mentioned in a previous reading. Okay, so I don't know if he's ever mentioned a Shri M. I'm not too sure what you mean by a Shri M. We need a little bit more clarification on this question, Matthew. So I have not really heard of him referring to any particular guru by the name of Shri M. Okay, so I need a little bit more insight on that. Okay, are you sure you have the right name or anything of that nature? There's been a few gurus, I maybe he may be talking about Ramana Maharshi, Paramahansa Yogananda, quite a few other ones, but I've never heard of a Shri M. Oh, I think you refer to Shri M. Okay, maybe that's who you're referring to. Is Shri M. Okay, so yeah, it's not Shri M. It's Shri M. So just Shri and then the letter M, because now I'm gonna just Gem M. Oh, okay, Shri M. Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Like, who's Shri M? I don't know who Shri M is. Okay, Shri M. Yes. All right. Yes, we can talk about him. All right, one moment. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We are here, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning into this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you very much, Gijo Matthew, for your question in regards to the guru that you have termed as Shri M, and to find out a little bit more about him. Well, he has his own story. He has in regards to the information that he has shared about his own journey of what he has been able to learn through his own guru, Babaji. Now, it's not the same Babaji that we have been talking about, or Brad has been talking about, that represents the deathless yogi, but it is actually one of his disciples. And so Shri M learned a great deal from his guru, and that he is able to perform certain particular types of siddhis that can represent the idea of instantaneous manifestation by an agency. Now, again, we don't know exactly specifically of what you want us to talk about with him, because it's more important to hear his story from his own words. Now, you may ask in regards to the nature of his legitimacy. Is he indeed a legitimate guru that can represent the idea of helping others? Well, based on the fruit of his actions, from what we are able to see and from what we are able to tune into, he is a very highly advanced guru. Yes. So there is certainly that confirmation that we can feel. He truly is here to want to assist and aid others. He wants to help bring about much of the preservation of his culture, much of the preservation of the essence of the ancient teachings of yoga, of the ancient teachings of the Advaita, directly to the people. He has his own goals, he has his own ambitions, and therefore he holds a great deal of legitimacy based on what he says and what he does. So if that's what you want, that is too what we can confirm. All right? We thank you very much for your question. Okay, thank you very much. So I don't really know what else you want, Gijo. I mean, Shri M is alive, so I mean, you can definitely talk to him. He actually takes questions from people, I believe, as well too. I would suggest watching his videos as well. He has a great deal of information. I've really enjoyed his work because he's shared a lot of stuff similar to what I've shared or what Adronis has shared. He's almost said it word for word at times as well too. So yes, I think he's a wonderful guru. All right, so I think you should check him out. Of course, maybe talk to him. Maybe drop an online question or something. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to the next question here. We got quite a few of them coming in, so that's great. Let's go to EUM142 is another one for Adronis. Hi, Adronis. What does healthy relationship with money look like when you no longer include working for a living in the equation? That's actually a very good question. Okay. Yes, I will bring Adronis in now. Honey, I'd like you to do a reading on that as well, too, afterwards. Okay. So I will go ahead and bring Adronis in, and we'll look at what does healthy relationship with money look like when you no longer include working for a living in the equation. I had to say it a second time because it is such a good question. Very good. Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, EUM143, for your question about the idea of money in a balanced way, where you're no longer working for a living. Well, see, here's the thing. If you're working for a living, it depends in regards to how you phrase it. Now, really what you're doing is you're not really working for a living. You're working to earn for a living. That's really what it comes down to. You're simply working because you want money in your pocket. You simply are working because you want a paycheck, because you want to survive. So what you're doing is when you're in harmony with money, you have to understand that you're up here and money is down here, and that you're seeing it as a prop. You're seeing it as a tool. You're no longer seeing it as something that you have to bend your knee and bow down to because you feel it has dominance over you. Money has never had that hold over you other than you appealing to yourself to believe that that is exactly what it's all about. When you are therefore at harmony with money, then everything comes to you, which means you can actually start going across the entire planet, walking from country to country if you wish, going from place to place, talking to person, arriving at certain, shall we say, realizations of your being where you can travel anywhere, where you can do anything, and you don't even have to spend a penny. There are masters upon your planet who have done this. They will simply travel to one place, their airfare will be paid for, their taxi will be paid for, the place to which they're lodging will be paid for without them paying a single penny. Or you can look into the idea that abundance is coming to you fruitfully, and all this money is coming to you because you are in alignment to all the things that you are at peace with that can bring forward money. You see, there is actually a science to it. If you notice that there is even the slightest resistance representing a particular type of industry or a particular type of situation that you're not in harmony with pertaining to money, you're going to struggle. But if you notice that there's these other things that you have made peace with pertaining to industry or situation, you will not struggle. Everything comes at ease. So you have to understand that the nature of manifestation when it comes to finances is like the facets of a diamond. If you're turning that diamond around and you're seeing that some facets are tarnished, some facets are scratched, then these are the facets that you still need to work with, which means there should be no higher or lower when it comes to the nature of making peace with money. Adronis, how do you make peace with money? You have to see it as a prop. You have to see it as a tool. You have to see it as something that works for you, not the other way around. Because all money represents on your planet is a physicality of manifestation pertaining to how you treat exchange. How you give something to someone or how they give something to you. And if you are in harmony with both, you're in harmony with money. So therefore, situations, industries, and so forth that you may have had problems with, you're now learning to make peace with. I'm making peace with the idea of the type of work. I'm making peace with the type of situations, which means in that sense, I may get bills in the mail, but because I have such peace with money, it comes and it's like it already pays for itself. It takes care of it. These are miraculous. In a way they are, but miracles themselves are the result of what you have surrendered to, of what you've let go of. The stars now align, and then the fruitfulness of your act comes your way. Doesn't have to be money, it can be many different factors. But it's the idea of looking at that diamond and seeing that all of the facets are clean, they are polished, they are refined. They're no longer scratched, they're no longer tainted, they're no longer dirty, they're no longer decaying. That's because you have made peace with yourself. You've made peace with the nature of money. Whereas working for a living is one of those scratched facets. It's a dirty facet. It's a tainted facet. You feel that you are at the mercy of money when it's just a prop that was invented by man that is telling you about the physical manifestation of your relationship to exchange. Simple as that. Make peace with it. Be in harmony with it. That's why the trauma transcendence technique is here for you. Let it all be clear. Let it all be at peace. And you will live in harmony pertaining to the nature of exchange, to where money is a representation of the physical manifestation. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay. How about you? How did you get it?
I always love those. Those are phenomenal. Yeah, and I mean, we have a lot of energy to absolutely support everything Jonas is saying as well. I mean, I think a lot of people, I mean, if we look at this, we have that we have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, and I think so many people are kind of, they're so programmed to think that they have to like be a slave to this, to the money and the financial system too. But there's so much beautiful energy that comes flooding in when you align yourself. And I just want to quickly share, there was a situation that I had years ago, and I still bring myself back. So when you embody that feeling, everything really aligns. And it was just simply had nothing to even do with money. I was just helping this little old lady, and just being in that sense of gratitude, and there's so much love and appreciation. All of a sudden, putting myself back into that situation that happened years ago, money started flooding in for me, like with sessions and things that I didn't expect. So it's really about aligning yourself with that embodiment and that frequency of it, instead of just thinking about it.
Yep. It's the good deeds represent good rewards, right? If you do goodness, right? See, if this is another mentality. If I want to have money to come to me because I want to hoard it all, I don't want to share it with anybody, I don't want to do anything, I just want to keep it in my piggy bank, then there's going to be very little reward that will come out of that, right? So the more that you're putting selfish tendencies towards the nature of money, I need it for my own needs, I need it for my own needs, and you're not willing to share it, right? It's not saying you need to share your entire fortune, but you're sharing it with people, you're helping people, you're giving the good deeds, you're giving that level of abundance. That's what brings rewards, because that's how the universe is programmed, right?
And actually, one other quick thing I wanted to include, and that's a very good point, because just recently I was with my daughter, and I've been like trying to, let's say, not spend as much money. So in my mind, we were out and we went into this little store and she wanted an ice cream, and I was like, no, I don't really want to spend money right now, right? And we left, and that kind of triggered something, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I feel like I'm hoarding it, like there's some kind of resistance there. So I actually said, you know what, let's go back. So we went back, and we not only got the ice cream for free, the girl gave it to her, she also gave us like this massive cookie as well. So I was like, oh my goodness. So we got, it was really really amazing kind of.
Well, see, this is where a lot of people struggle, because they don't think they have a lot of money in their pockets, and they think, no, it's like, especially if they have like a little one with them, and they're saying, come on, please, I want it. It's like, you know, you can afford it, but should I do it? Should I be a penny pincher? Right?
Yeah.
And then we disappoint the child, and then that whole energy goes throughout the entire space, which means we're creating a taint. We're creating a tarnishing here. Whereas you say, you know what, even though I don't have enough money, I just know it's going to bring so much happiness if I do get this, even though I know I don't have a lot. Here you go. But, oh, wait a minute. All of a sudden you turn around and it's 75% off, right? Or something like that. You get some particular type of miracle that comes in because you're looking to serve harmony, okay? And that's what people overlook when it comes to the nature of money. Money can be used to serve harmony, okay? It's not some greedy thing. It's not that money itself is the root of all evil. It's the person in regards to how they utilize it that determines their alignment. Right? So if something's very tainted, because this person is greedy, they hold on to money because they think it's in such small supply, when it's not. It's the nature of money. It's the nature of abundance. The reason why we've had so much of this printing of money in that sense is letting us know that, you know, there's an abundance of it, even though it leads to inflation. But like I said, if we get caught up into the, you know, dualistic details of money, then that's what's going to cause you to feel like you have less of it. It's going to become more scarce because of how you treat it, rather than saying that it's fruitful and abundant, and that when the moment serves, I will utilize it, I will give it, right? And it's not just for me, it's for everybody. We all share money. That's a big lesson as well too. It is not for people to hoard. It is a shared exchange. That's why we exchange money, right? It's an exchanging of energy. It's a physical manifestation of that. So very good points altogether. All right, so that was a big question, 81142, and it was a really, really great responses altogether. Okay, let's take a look at some other ones here. Okay, this one here is from Carol N. Okay, I think she has her question up here. Hi, Brad and Breanne. Can you look into my partner's health condition regarding his anemia? And they want to do a colonoscopy. Thank you, blessings. Okay, so I'll let Breanne take care of that part, and I'll follow up after that. Now, after this, I'm going to actually ask a question about the Canadian elections. Okay, so I know that there's going to be people on this chat who may be asking about that, right? What about the Canadian elections, Brad? You know, we're hearing all this with Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre. What's happening with that? So after this one, we'll go into that, because I know that's going to be one question that should probably be asked. I'm not too sure if anyone's asked it yet, but I might as well beat you to the punch. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so regarding your partner here, I mean, it does look like the outcome, we do have kind of a celebration and a balancing of energies, but it does look like there is kind of quite a bit of conflict, and I feel like there's a disconnection in his energy. But overall, I mean, moving forward, kind of taking care of his health and stuff, I do see a positive outcome. We have a celebration in the Four of Wands, so I mean, there's going to be some stuff to take note of and pay attention to, because there is some conflicted energy here, but overall it looks like you guys will be able to get through it, and I mean, there is kind of light at the end of the tunnel from what I can see here.
Okay, so let me just take a look at your partner as well too, Caroline. Yeah, my feeling is he may have to go through it. With all due respect, your husband hasn't really been giving the necessary attention to his body that his body requires. So again, if we neglect our health, then this is the consequence of what happens, right? The body says, please take care of me. If you don't take care of me, then there's consequences, right? You may be at the mercy of your medical industry or something of that nature, because people will insist you have to get this done, right? We think that we're untouchable in many different ways. Don't worry about it. It won't happen to me this year. It won't happen to me in a decade. It won't happen to me this time or anything of that nature. So we keep putting off the importance of us taking care of our health, right? And if that's being put off enough, then situations like this unfold. So there is going to be a recovery time for him, right? It's not going to be easy, but this is what I feel like he basically needs to go through if he wants to continue to function properly in his body. Yeah. He may need to go through these things. It's not going to be too pleasant, but as long as you're there with him and you're offering that love and support for him, then that's going to be great. That's going to make things a lot easier, right? So be his rock, be his love, be his support, help him through this time. Okay, that's what I have for that. All right, thank you, Caroline. Let's move on. Okay, let's go to Angela. Actually, no, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to go to the Canadian elections. Okay, so Breanne and I have been looking at this for the past couple of days as well, too, so we know we're just going to be getting questions about this sooner or later, right? Brad, what about the Canadian elections? I've had a lot of people from Germany asking me about their German elections, right? We're not German. We don't really follow the elections, but like I said, you guys are on the cusp of a breakthrough. I think the last question I had from a person from Germany was they were thinking of trying to cancel the elections to next year. Is this going to happen? I said, no, it's basically going to happen this year. So that's for Germany. Let's look into Canada. So again, there's a lot of people who are thinking that Carney may have the lead ahead, the Liberals may have the lead ahead, and that it's kind of a neck and neck race. But again, Breanne and I have been looking at this, so we're kind of doing updates daily just to see how things are going. So if I kind of look at this first between Carney and Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, I feel like there's a big rock that's about to squish Mark Carney. It's like there's this rock on the top of a cliff and he's just kind of standing there talking. All of a sudden it's just going to break off and it's going to fall down on top of him. That tells me that there's some sort of big, gigantic reveal, right? There's something that's just going to squash his campaign. There's something that's going to squash him. Something that is just really on the cusp of being revealed, like an explosion in that way. Not a literal explosion, but an explosive emotional situation. something that gets revealed that he's been trying to conceal, and that will mainly cripple his campaign. So yes, I see Polyev becoming the new prime minister. So, like I said, they've tried to make it so neck and neck, and for a time it was working. But like I said, if you keep holding back on stuff where people are just these master investigators, everything's going to get found out about you. It's going to be exposed big time. And it's just going to feel like this whole thing is just going to drizzle, right? He was on this roller coaster, and now he's just constantly going downhill. Polyev just keeps rising up. So, like I said, I see Polyev getting in altogether.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I did just recently post a video on this, and I was really actually kind of shocked with the cards that came out. I have always seen Pierre also kind of, being the next prime minister. But I think it's just incredible still seeing how many people, they put so much security or sense into just one political figurehead or government. And I mean, they're they can definitely have a tone or pace a tone, but they're not going to come here to save you, right? It's all in the people. And it's just interesting to see how many people still put so much sense of security into one political puppet.
That's what I've been telling people for years. So. The good news, like I said, they all have a role to play. Yeah. But like I said, we're the ones that give them power. We're the ones that are actually putting them into this position. And basically, it's the time to where the underhanded aren't going to win anymore, right? So if there are people with hidden agendas where they're basically, corporate millionaires or corporate billionaires, and they have special interests, and they're basically getting foreign aid, which is well known for the liberals. They're well known for having China in their back pocket, right? So that's not going to fly anymore, right? Anything that represents that dishonesty is going to be shown. Like I said, the veil is so transparent right now. If you do any particular type of misdeed, specifically in the idea of a public servant, you're going to get exposed. And I don't care how well connected. I don't care if you're connected to 20 billionaires or whatever, the super wealthy. The super wealthy are completely clueless of how the world actually works. They live in their own bubbles. They think this is what people want. Because I'm a billionaire, you have to follow the way that I want it. And that's not going to work. That's not going to fly. The people have always been in charge, right? So we're going to see it in that way. We're seeing in regards to all these upcoming elections, regardless of whatever country you're in, you're going to see the corrupt fall. That's just the way it is right now. It's not going to be the idea of the preservation of the corrupt. It can't. How can you? It's like trying to see you cover yourself up when you have a 360-degree panoramic of a glass panel all around you. People can just walk around. You have no blind spots, right? They have no blind spots anymore. They can't sneak anything under their sleeve anymore because a person will say, hey, I see what you're doing there. All right, I got this 360-degree panoramic of you. You can't hide anymore. So that's what's happening, is you're watching the corrupt fall. Their old dirty tricks don't work anymore, right? And like I said, this is where the people are going to stand up. This is where the people have always made the power. They've always had the power altogether. We just haven't realized it until now. We're starting to realize it. So there you go.
Yeah, and I just pulled a couple cards about Pierre winning too, and it looks pretty positive still, you guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got the Knight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and the Temperance.
Well, we're having Temperance there, so basically that's telling me that position of power is changing.
Yeah.
Liberals have been running this thing for a long time, so this is telling me that there's a change in the position of power, the position of authority. So yeah, exactly what I've been kind of feeling for a while. All right, let's go to the next question here for Angela. Angela says, I'm 3 weeks pregnant, congratulations, and considering early stage termination due to our personal situation. Please can you tap into my spirit guide and share any guidance and if this will affect future pregnancy. Okay, so I'll start off with this all together. Yeah, I would really consider what you're doing, okay? Because in that sense, and I understand that there's people that, they don't want to get pregnant, or maybe the person that got them pregnant. There's many different reasons for this. But at the same time, we have to remember that the little one that is inside of you is the purity of innocence, okay? So all it's really just saying is just reevaluate your decision, really think about this. Don't make any hasty particular type of decisions altogether. Remember the innocence that's within you. Please consider that one's situation as well too, and not just your own. That's really the information that's coming through me.
Yeah, and I mean, with pulling this as well, I'm not sure if that's some kind of conflict between you and maybe the other partner, but there's definitely a sense of really not jumping to any, I mean, this is your journey, my friend, but not jumping to any hasty kind of decisions on this, really thinking this through, because there is a really good energy and a celebration here with that little one. So I mean, it's your journey, but I would definitely kind of consider and rethink kind of what energy is coming out there, because it does affect, it does, you know, leave that karmic imprint and effect there.
Yes, you know, there's always a challenge with these particular type of situations, but like I said, we often think about what's best for us, and we don't think about others involved, right? What you have inside you is another, and you have to consider them at the same time. So if we're looking at the higher angelic, or again, just the higher spiritual intelligence, it's saying really think this through before you do anything, okay? Really consider all factors, and not just your own self. This is something that will affect many people, not just you.
Yeah.
So you need to be aware of that, okay? So please give it some deep thought, okay? All right, let's go on to JP. Oops, sorry. Yeah, we're getting quite a few donations here. I'm losing my position online here. Let's see, JP, here we go. I kindly ask for a general reading, if possible, please. I know about the third eye, but I also have this pressure between my eyes or nose. Okay, so we'll look into your pressure about the third. It is actually much more personal reading. So if you're having an issue with your inner eye, I can comment after that, but I'll let Breanne start off.
I will say, I mean, myself and I know a lot of others have been having a lot of different symptoms and energies happening right now. So let's see, is this, if you're questioning, is this in regards to maybe kind of an activation or that kind of energy, or is it more maybe just a physical thing? I mean, we do have the Fool here as well with the Wheel of Fortune. So I mean, when I see this, especially the three of wands as well, right in the center, this is an emotional, I feel like, energetic thing that's happening to you. So many people, like, I don't know, I've been even getting a lot of buzzing in my ears, and I have had a similar thing to what you're saying. It's kind of like a pulsing or pressure in between your eyes, third eye, or your middle of the forehead as well. So from what I see, it does look like this could be just a recalibration of your energies here. That's kind of what I see.
Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah. So, JP, you've been bottling way too much stress. You've been bottling way too much tension. You've been getting very deeply emotional. And what that does is that's actually affecting your Kundalini. Okay. So there's a way to help alleviate this, and that works with alternate nostril breathing. Okay. So there's one particular way that I can show you, right? Just working together with the Vishnu mudra. Okay. So if you see my hand just like this, thumb sticking out, ring finger and pinky sticking out. And so you want to put your thumb over your right nostril and then just breathe in for 4 seconds and then switch. Okay, so ring finger touching the left nostril, plugging it, and then breathing out for 4. Then breathing in again for 4, switching again, breathing out for 4. Okay, that's one single round. I would like you to work with 10 rounds of those per day, at least. Okay, so what this is doing, this is helping to clear your Ida and Pingala channels. Okay, now the Ida and the Pingala, if I'm drawing here, here's the idea of your spine, right here, I'll show this to you in a moment. And then we have these two spiraling Nadi channels. And it's not a very good drawing, but anyways, you get the point. So we have these, let's see if I can get it on the camera there we go, okay. So like I said, it's not a very good drawing, but it's looking at the idea of the Ida and the Nadi, and the Ida and the Pingala channels. Okay, it looks like a DNA spiral. Okay, so again, maybe I'll draw it more like this. This might be a little bit easier. I'm not too much in the drawing gifted mood today, but that's okay. Okay, so we're looking at the DNA spiral here. Okay, sorry, I'm getting it right in the light. All right, so there's a DNA spiral. So it's kind of very similar to that. Think of it as a pole that has 2 coils wrapped around it, right, in opposite ends. That is what's referred to as the Ida and the Pingala. Your left nostril, which leads to the Ida channel, which is what we would call the Chandra, the moon channel, or the Ida channel, which is the feminine side of the coil, right? And then you have the Pingala, okay, that's the solar channel, the sun channel. So it's like looking at a battery pertaining to positive and negative, and our spine basically being the conductor between these 2 leads, okay? So what you're doing with alternate nostril breathing is you're helping to balance out the leads, the polarities, when it comes to your spine. Because whenever a person is telling me that they got pressure, I say, okay, this is Kundalini perturbation. So this is telling me that they have a very severe blockage emotionally. I think that something may have hit you very hard. You may have gotten some emotional distressing news, and that this becomes the result, right? Some people can get neck aches, some people can get stomach aches, some people can feel like their left side is a little bit more numb than their right side, or vice versa. Those are all Kundalini perturbations, my friend. Okay, so depending upon the work that you're doing with the alternate nostril breathing, another thing I would like you to do is, after doing 10 rounds, is check the condition of your breath flow through each nostril. Okay, so we're just plugging the left and breathing in, and then breathing out. Now, if you notice there's a lot of resistance there, that's telling me that the left nostril is, or the Ida, is in a state of blockage, resistance, which happens. That happens daily. Okay, then we test the right nostril, and then out. And if that one's more free-flowing, then that means that you're much more aligned to the Surya, or the Pingala Nadi, right, the heat channel. So what we would also want to do is, after doing the Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, or the alternate nostril breathing, is, for example, if my left nostril is showing some resistance when I'm doing the breath test, then I basically have to balance it a certain way. This is a Swara Yoga technique. This is where you're taking your thumb and you're putting it into your fist, and you're putting it under your armpit, okay, just like this. And then you're just leaning down to your right. So if you're leaning on a couch, or if you're leaning on a chair, or not a chair, but a bed would be a good idea. And you're just plugging the right nostril, because that's the free channel, right? Then you're breathing in, and you monitor your breath for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, your Ida and your Pingala now start to get balanced, which means after a couple of minutes, you'll do the breath test again. Your left nostril is clear, and your right nostril is clear. This means that you have the Sushumna channel open, which is the central channel, okay? When you're there, I want you just to meditate on the blockage itself, and just feel like there is white or gold light coming directly into that area, and the light is basically just absorbing the obstruction, okay? So that's what you're doing. Right where you feel that pressure, if it's a pressure here or down by your sinuses, that again is telling me that your gateway is blocked. Okay, so between here and here, represent the idea of your medulla oblongata connecting directly to the entire cerebrum, representing the Anya chakra. So we want to basically clear that area, just like you're putting light into your head and then just having that light absorb all of that obstruction. After you're doing this daily, the next few days, you'll probably start to feel it clear, because they want to help clear out that emotion. Okay. A second thing is, when you have that light in your head, Om chant. Okay, just Om chant directly into it, absorbing that obstruction out, watching it leave. Okay, a few days will pass, you'll realize it'll be gone. Okay, so this is an emotional obstruction through Kundalini perturbation because of unhealthy Ida and Pingala channels based upon your breath test. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're clearing that out. It's a common Kundalini perturbation. Whenever you're getting intense pressure in the head, your Kundalini is perturbed. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just helping to balance that, utilizing this breath, the Swara Yoga technique, the golden light, and the Om. Okay, so give that a try. See how that works for you. And that's for everybody else that has that problem too. Okay, all right, good. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, this one here is from SD. SD says, what is the energy around SHX? Oh, I guess that's crypto. Okay. Okay, I'll just write that down just so I don't forget here. SHX. Okay. So I'll start this one first time, and then you can follow up. Okay, so let's go to SHX in crypto. It feels like I'm kind of seeing like a stick of dynamite, and there's a long fuse, and it's just starting to light. Okay, it's going to take some time before that fuse reaches the TNT for an explosion to take place. I think it has potential for the future. I can't even guarantee 2026. Okay, but it could be something down the road that could have a little bit more. It needs a little bit more build up. Needs a little bit more build up. Needs a little bit more time, like I said, for that lit fuse to come in and impact the dynamite, so to speak. So it needs time for detonation, so to speak, for it to really kind of explode out there. But I think it does. I think it will in time, but just not right away. So like I said, about 2026, 2028, we can't really measure that far yet. Okay, so we're basically kind of looking around the first few months because everything changes, right? So for the first 6 months coming up, no, it's still that fuse. Even if I'm looking at very early 2026, no, not yet. Okay, but it is something that is going to detonate in time.
Yeah, and the tarot says pretty much the exact same thing. I mean, when we're looking, it does. I do see it
So
having
we're getting
some potential.
that waiting game.
But yeah, the Knight of Pentacles it's a slow moving energy. It's a turtle here. So I mean, it does have some potential to kind of soar up and rise, but it is going to take some time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I said, a lot of crypto, and it really is, and I try not to generalize with the nature of crypto, but really, because it's a crypto market, right, a lot of crypto is affected by that. And this is why I say the great majority of crypto relating to its boom period will be between those 3 years that Adronis has shared, 2026 to 2028. Some may be starting off right from the get-go, right off the gate from 2026. Some may take into 2027, right? It just depends, but those are the 3 years. Unfortunately, guys, this is not the year for crypto. Okay, it's the year to plant seeds for crypto. They're going to have some some rising and falls, but it's the time for you to plant your seeds. This is getting the garden bed ready, so to speak. It's as I've said many times, and it doesn't matter what you're looking at, whether it's XRP, XLM, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Doge, whether it's all these different coins, SHX. Right? They're all good. I'm sure they have a lot of potential, and some will rise and some will fall. There will be some that will be culled as well too. So we'll have some culling taking place. Just ones that just don't have a lot of grip are just going to fall away. Okay. So try to find ones that have some good grip, which means they have some pretty good press. Right? They have people talking about them. Those are the ones that you want to hold on to. Those are the seeds that you're planting.
Yeah, looking at the community behind them.
Exactly. The next 3 years will be a very strong blossoming period for crypto. But like I said, we just kind of monitor it. We just kind of monitor it every now and then. I got like my cucumber juice, but I had a juice this morning. So we have those next 3 years. That's going to be a very intense time for crypto. So right now, though, like I said, it's just not that. I want to tell you guys, hey, 2025 is so gold, and you guys are going to strike it rich in 2025, because I would be lying to you, right? And it's 2026 to 2028. Those are the opportune times where you may be able to strike it rich because of certain cryptos that may be rising. And one of the ones I would be looking at the most is XRP. Okay, so XRP, Cardano would be another good one. Doge would also be another good one. Those are some examples. But like I said, not in 2025, 2026, 2028, most definitely. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. And thanks for your question. Let's go to Mr. T. All right. So Mr. C says, what can Adronis and Breanne tell me about the ringing in my left ear? Okay, let's start off with Breanne first. Okay. Now there's a whole science to ringing in the left ears, but we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you have to say. I mean, I've personally been getting a lot of these ringings happening. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now sometimes it depends, because sometimes you can get pressure in the ears, you can get popping in the ears, you can get tones in the ears, sometimes a high tone or a very light tone or a very deep tone. It just depends, right? So ringing in the ears has many different octaves to it at the same time, or the entire ringing ear phenomena, or popping or pressure in the ear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna love probably your answer for sure. But what I'm getting again is like a lot of this is like a recalibration. We've got a lot of still really positive energy, so I don't get that it's necessarily anything bad. But again, there could be blockages when it's coming up, when we have that Page of Wands. That I noticed last time when you were talking about the spiral and the spine, and we've got that Page of Wands again, and I just keep seeing that with the wands and the spine. So with the ring in the ears, I feel like with this, it is like a recalibration, especially with the four of Swords and the Temperance energy. The Sun, there's a lot of light energy, I feel like, flooding into, look at the Schumann resonance over the past months. Like, it's been very, very intense. So a lot of people are feeling that. So I do get it's more of like energetic recalibrations from what I'm getting, but that could also relate to some blockages that we have in the system that need to be cleared out.
Okay, so if Mr. T, if I'm looking directly at you in regards to your condition with the left ear, Yeah, you need to hydrate yourself a lot more. Okay, you need a lot more hydration. I would say it's also good to probably get some minerals in your body a little bit more. I feel like you have a lot of dehydration problems. Okay, and I think that's probably one of the reason. My feeling with the left ear is it's something physical pertaining to your body. Now, I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm not a medical professional. I cannot give you any medical advice or anything like that. Right? That's a strict no-no. But just in regards to what I'm tuning into, because from an energetic perspective, from an energetic healer's perspective, I can give you advice, right? And you need to drink more water. You need to have more hydration. It's not just water as well, too. Just anything pertaining to hydrating foods. So when the left ear, sometimes when the left ear is ringing, there's an imbalance pertaining to I'm not talking about the organs, but I'm talking about your energetic network. Okay, and your body needs minerals and it needs hydration. And if you're not getting enough of that, then these ear situations can come together. And that's what can form particular types of manifestations like tinnitus or anything else of that nature. Okay. So very, very important is that you're hydrating yourself a little bit more. I would not say it's precisely a Kundalini perturbation. This is more of a physical perturbation because of lack of hydration and because of lack of minerals. And breath work also helps, right? So guys, if you've watched my channel quite a few times already, you know I talk about something like Rachaka, okay? Where you're breathing into the nose for 4, breathing out of the nose for 8. I really don't know how to talk about this with Adronis because Adronis has talked to death about ringing in the ears, right? Him and I are both quite well versed in it on an energetic level, okay? But if there's a lot of ringing in the ears now, here's a simple thing to understand. If it's very, very short-lived, it's basically an energetic calibration. If it's a little bit longer, if it lasts longer than 2 minutes, okay, that often relates to some sort of physical condition. Okay, and again, I can't tell you what that is. You need to talk to a medical professional. Okay, but if it's energetic, like I said, make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're getting minerals in the body. Make sure you're doing your breath work. Okay, because when we're doing breath work, we're not looking for oxygen. We're looking for prana. Okay, and you start working together with these deep exhales, where the exhale is longer, and you know you're doing a good job when your eyes are dilated and there's a lot of saliva in your mouth. Okay, that is telling me that you're going into the parasympathetic state, you're going into a low idle state, you're going into a subtle state of being, you're calming and relaxing yourself. Stay there, just stay there. Don't worry about inquiring or anything of that nature. Just stay in that calm state and just be there for as long as you can, because that resets everything. So my friends, here's something very important. The greatest healing energy that you can ever receive is when you're at rest. Okay? It is never when you're active. Okay? Not about running or jogging or anything like that, running a marathon, thinking that you're going to heal your body that way. You can't do it. Okay? This is why we need sleep at night, right? We start to sleep. Sleeping helps to digest our food, helps to nourish our bodies. It's giving our energy that replenishment that it needs. Okay, so rest is what makes things happen, right? Even when you're at the gym, even if you're eating a big amount of food, right? Your body needs rest to culminate all of that work that you've been doing. So rest energy is how you recharge. When people are not getting enough sleep at night, their battery's low. It's like looking at your phone when it's flashing red at you, right? It's not charged. You're not getting enough sleep. You're eating too much. You're too active. You're not getting enough rest energy in yourself. If you don't get enough rest energy in yourself, you are going to burn out. You are going to get sick. You are going to get ill. You're going to get discombobulated. You're going to get brain fog because you're not putting in enough rest energy, right? So people we're on the computer, we're running around, we're dealing with the kids, whatever it may be, and we're just burning ourselves out. It's the candle being burnt at both ends, right? So you got to put out snuff out those candle flames, right? And give yourself rest energy. This is why meditation is so very important, because it complements rest energy. Rest energy basically represents the idea of subtlety. When our body is subtle, when we learn to be still and calm and centered, you will replenish yourself so quickly. Meditation is not about trying to fill out a laundry list from A to Z in your head. It's not about singing songs. It's not about saying, did I do this? Did I do that? I mean, believe me, I get caught up with that myself too. But we have to work in just being calm, not having any inquiries, nothing. Be here. And that's it. And Mr. T, that's going to help out with your condition. That's going to help out with many other conditions as well too. This is how meditation reverses sickness, because you're giving yourself the essential rest energy that you need, because that's prana in its purest form is at rest. That's inertia. right? And you want that inertia coming in, where we're basically getting a lot of this force and acceleration. We're not getting that inertia, right? We want to make sure that we're getting inertia, rest, energy, right? That's very, very, very important. And that's what's going to replenish you. Okay? There you have it.
Done.
Okay, let's go on to Solstice here. And Mr. T, thanks for your question. Solstice says, "Hi Brad, I lost a very sentimental pendant of mine and can't find it anywhere at home. If it's still in my house, any clues on where?" I don't have that information. Okay. Solstice, that's not what I do. I'm not too sure if you're a student of mine, okay, because I'm not too sure who Solstice is. But if you are a student of mine, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've done the resonant dowsing course, okay, then that's something that you can look into. Okay, this is exactly why I teach the resonant dowsing course, because you can use that. But I haven't actually personally used it. I can teach you how to do it. There's times where I've kind of experimented with it a little and I've had some success, but that's not what I do for people, right? That's not it. So my suggestion would be, number one, do some resonant dowsing, or number two, talk to spirit, right? Let spirit present it to where it will be, and it will appear. I had a student of mine back in 2019 when we were in Mount Shasta, and she lost, I think it was like a necklace or a pendant as well too. And I was actually doing resonant dowsing. I wasn't calling it at the time, but I was doing dowsing. And I'm saying, okay, well, it's actually in your vehicle. It's in your vehicle. And she was tearing the entire vehicle apart. And it's when she actually sat down on a bench and she said, "I give up." All of a sudden, the pendant appeared right underneath her legs, right? So this is the whole idea. And I kept telling her, just talk to spirit. Let spirit give it to you, right? Spirit will show you where it is. No, but it must be here. It must be here, right? And so your mind is getting into a kerfuffle. It's like a hurricane. And it's just stop, right? If you do, you just give up your pendulum searching and all that stuff, and just sit down and say, "Spirit, please show this with me. I know it's here. Please share it with me," right? And then just let it go. Let it go. Cut the cord, right? And then after a short time, you'll notice, poof, oh, it's already on the coffee table. There you go. Okay? So that's what I would suggest, is just put that intention out, cut the cord of worry, right? Just snip it away, and then just let it go. And then a short time afterwards, it'll appear.
Yeah.
It's happened to me
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah. And the cards confirm. I just pulled a couple, and that's is exactly what you said, especially when the mind's all over the place. But
Yep.
when you connect and cut those cords, then we've
Yep.
got it coming out.
It was
in
my whole
service, so-
situation when I lost a pendulum like this as well too, and I tore my entire house inside out looking for it. And I thought there was an interdimensional intruder that came into my house and took my pendulum. So because there's no one else in here that could have done that. What happened? I specifically remember leaving my pendulum right here on the desk, and I tore my desk apart. I tore my room apart. This is going back to like 2 years ago. And I finally just gave up. I said, okay, fine, forget it. I'm not going to do it. I come home, and all of a sudden, the pendulum is resting right here on the keyboard. Right? So that's what I'm talking about, is I cut the cord, and these miracles happen. Just say, "Spirit, please just help me. Just help me," right? Cut the cords, and miracles come together. It's happened to me on many occasions. Okay? So yes, we can do resonant dowsing, or we just ask Spirit for help, and then cut it away, and let Spirit bring it in. Let Spirit present. Okay? It's wonderful. Okay, let's go to Z-Man. Z-Man says, "Hi Brad and Breanne, I'm deciding on doing a neurotraining course that's designed to heal and transform the brain." That sounds really good. "It is very expensive. Would it be beneficial to me and worth the money?" Remember, so here's the most important thing, as I say. It's not about the knowledge, it's not about the system, it's about you, right? Now, I feel that if you're looking into this course, because I'll look into that real quickly here for you, it's going to be very beneficial for you, okay? But like I said, you're what makes that information powerful. You're what makes that education powerful, right? It's not about the information. It's not about the knowledge. It's about you. So as I'm looking into that, yes, this would be very good. And you're right, it is expensive. It is a bit costly. But if you know that this is something that you're being pulled into to do, if you feel like this is what you're gravitating towards, believe me when I say it'll work out. It'll work out. Everything will come to you as it needs to. You have to get into that mentality. It's like I was saying earlier with the nature of energetic exchange, right? If we have a diamond here where there's scratches and taints, as Adronis was saying, then that's where there's going to be complications, right? So you got to free the path. You got to make the path clear, and saying, even if this is expensive, I know I'm going to get the most of it. Spirit, let it present in any way that I can make this course happen for myself, and it will come. Okay.
Yes, and I like when you said when you're feeling gravitated towards it, because when I look at this Page of Wands,
That's
next to the
gravitation, yeah.
Eight of Cups, it's like you're gravitating to this whole new course, and I do think it'll be beneficial. But yes, exactly, you are the one who makes and puts that information to use, and incorporating that into your life. So yes, if you are interested and you feel guided to take this course, I do see it being very beneficial for you.
Yes, and we need more people like that to work with the brain and help people with transformation, especially as they bring more of an intuitive approach and a spiritual approach to it as well too. There needs to be more people like that, rather than just people getting glued to computers and stuff like that, right? Work with the power of spirit, right? You can work with technology, but let spirit be the forefront of what you do. Right. So that's good. So like I said, I think it will be very good. And like I said, just don't doubt yourself. Clear the path. Let spirit help you. You'll find your way through it, right into it. Okay. Very good. All right. Let's move on to Open Contact. Open Contact says, "Hi, Adronis. Can you let me know what this graduating timeline is on planet Earth right now? What do we achieve when we complete this life on Earth?" Okay. One moment. We thank you very much for your question. And so, asking the question, Adronis, what do we receive when we graduate? What do we achieve when we leave this earth upon a particular timeline? Nothing. Adronis, are you sure? Yes. Because it's not about what you achieve. It's what you discard that is not real. So that you're yourself. Because when you realize you are yourself, you are everyone, you are everything, you are the all. That's how it works. It's not about thinking that I need to achieve this and I'm going to get this big overflowing treasure chest with all these possibilities. You see, that's already what you are. You're already all possibilities. That's far greater than some overflowing treasure chest. What we're talking about with the nature of the rewards is realization. The realization that you really did not need to hold on to that particular thing because you realized it wasn't you in the first place to begin with. You've discarded it. It's like looking at a block of clay. You're discarding all the excess clay until the true nature of the form that you seek out to have is revealed. So all you're doing is you're cleaning away all this excess because you have come into life already perfect. And you have put upon all of these piles of excess upon yourself that don't need to be there because you think you're this, you think you're that, you think the other thing. And you identify with this and you identify with that and you identify with the other thing. And that's what you're holding on to. You need to pull it off. You need to discard it, so that the true nature of yourself is revealed, like the sculptor with the clay. You see? So this is not about an overflowing treasure chest. This is not about the idea of thinking that I'm going to get something out of this. What you've gotten out of this is the realization of what you're not. That's the reward. The reward is that you're now naturally kind, naturally loving, naturally harmonious, because that's your natural self, which means you've come back to your own senses. You're realizing exactly who you are. You see, it's not just us telling you this. Many of your masters have told you this over the centuries. You're not gaining anything, and you're not really losing anything at the same time. You're just discarding illusions. The true reward is the realization of what you know yourself to be. That's the ultimate reward. Because now you know. And now that you know, you can go through life as your natural self. You're interconnected to everyone. You're interconnected to everything. You command reality with such great presence. It's all yours to begin with. And you're showing this to others because you see everyone else as yourself. There's no more me. There's no more of the idea of this I-ness, of this ahamkara, that it's me, myself, and I. It's now about thou. It's now about the truth of your beingness. That's why many of you come to Earth, because you have to find out exactly what you've compiled on top of yourself. All the excess clay that you've placed upon yourself over the many generations of lifetimes. And now you're willing to peel all that off because it came from this planet and it needs to be discarded on this planet. That's how it works. You peel off all this excess. Oh, I'm angry because of that. I'm sad because of this. I'm fearful because of this other thing. These are the things you're peeling off. And once you peel them off, the realization is the treasure chest. The realization of who and what you are is the ultimate reward, because it's a remembrance of who and what you truly are as the natural capital S self. All right, that's what you're here to do. So it does not matter about the type of timelines that are emerging collectively. The collective is only here to be a reflecting mirror for you. It's showing you things, but you have to look at these things and see it within yourself. This doesn't fit anymore. I'm letting it go. I'm discarding. I'm surrendering to it. You see? So it does not matter about what the collective is going through. That's just the hall of mirrors that's showing you all these reflections and projections. And as helpful as it can be, the true change comes from within. It's not an outside thing. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay. Thank you very much, Open Contact, for your question. Okay, so we have one here from Abondance. Okay, I'm pronouncing that right. Trading for Brad and Breanne, reading regarding moving region and work it the next month or so, maybe new career path and relocation. Okay, so I guess I'll get you to take care of that one. Reading regarding moving, so moving to a new region, working in the next month or so, maybe a new career path and relocation. Okay. Okay, we got about 5 or 6 minutes left, everybody, so we're going to try and do what we can to fly through these pretty quickly.
In terms of, I have to say, like, yes, there's a little bit of movement in your energy, but I don't know if it's super present at this time. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. It feels like a really, I don't know, a muddled energy right now. So I feel like it's really about honing in on what are your goals, what is it that you really want to plan on doing here. But if you do want to move, that is coming up in the future here, but I don't know if I see that happening in the next month, to be honest. Just energetically, I would say start planting those seeds. So it is coming up, but just kind of clearing out that path and any resistance to it, because it feels like there's a bit of some muddled resistance in where it is that you want to go. So just be clear on where it is that you want to move. But it's, I would say, coming up, in the future, but I don't see it right at the moment, my friend.
Okay, so there you go. We have to kind of get through this pretty quickly because we are running out of time. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question here. We got quite a few donation-based questions here. This is great. All right, so this one here is from Gordon. Gordon says, why don't I like to meditate? It bores me to stick with it from day to day. Because, Gordon, you're not meditating. If meditation is making you bored, then you haven't meditated. Simple as that. Because you don't, no offense, okay? But you don't understand what meditation truly is, okay? If you think that you're trying to be entertained in meditation, you have no idea what meditation is. It is not about entertainment, right? So basically, we have to look at meditation because, and honestly, the word meditation is a very stupid word. It's very dumb, okay? It doesn't really accomplish anything in regards to saying it. Meditate. You know really what it's saying, like in many different common dictionaries, is to contemplate. No. No. No, 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 no. Okay? That's why meditation really is a stupid word. I use it because it's universally known. But again, more appropriately, dhyana or jhana. Okay? Does anybody know what dhyana or jhana means? I'll give you like a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Ding, 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 ding. Jeopardy music. Right? It means to burn up. Okay? So what you're doing is you're burning up all these things that do not suit you. That is what we call true meditation. That's dhyana, that's jhana. Okay, so if we're looking back into the nature of the 8 limbs of yoga, again, we have one of those limbs representing dhyana. Okay, that therefore then leads into samadhi. If you're bored, you've never meditated, right? So this is why I say it's not really about meditation, it's about true meditation. You need to look at facets of yourself. You need to do prep work, right? This is why I suggest everybody who's watching this right now, if you have not done so already, please go sign up for the Trauma Transcendence Technique because it teaches you this, okay? The reason I say that is because we need to do our pre-prep work, we need to do our prep work, and then we start going into the TTT, the Trauma Transcendence Technique process, which takes an element of meditation together, and it liberates you, okay? So meditation works with the mind to burn up the fallacies, illusions, and discrepancies that you have assigned to yourself. That's why you meditate. And if you're not doing that, you've never meditated. Simple as that. Okay? This is dhyana, this is jhana. I'm not talking about putting on some nice music and just sitting here and going, Okay, of course you're going to be bored because you don't know what the heck you're doing. Okay? So this is the difference in regards to true meditation and false new agey garbage meditation, which isn't even meditation in the first place. This is why I say meditation is kind of a dumb word. Because people get so much misunderstanding with it. They think that that's what they have to do. And I ask people, I've asked so many people over the years in sessions, all right, well, do you meditate? Yeah, I meditate. Okay, great. How's it been going? Oh, it hasn't been good. I've just been kind of bored and stuff like that. Well, then you're not meditating. Then you're not meditating, right? You're looking for entertainment. Because again, you really don't know what you're doing. And it's okay. A lot of people do not know what they're doing. And this is the only reason why we meditate. You need to look at your illusions to burn up. You need to look at your traumas to burn them up. You need to look at your desires to burn them up, right? And how do we burn them up? You surrender. You don't forgive. You surrender. There is a difference between forgiving and surrendering. If I forgive someone for what they've done, that's basically me just taking like a little scoop out of the situation while a lot of it still remains. I'm not looking at the big picture. Forgiveness lacks the ability to harmonize the big picture of things. You're only playing connect the dots or polka dots and just connecting with different facets, and you're not looking into the big picture. Surrendering takes care of the whole situation. Okay? So we go into meditation to burn up illusions by surrendering to them. Discard, let go, let go, let go. I'm not putting negative into a positive or any of that crap. I'm completely burning it up, right? Anybody that's getting you into this turn negative into a positive is wasting your time. I'm just telling you guys like it is, because you know that's how I am, right? So that's wasting your time. So if you don't like to meditate, stop doing this version of whatever it is you're doing, because it's not meditation. Okay, we need to do some prep work. We need to do some pre-prep work, which means I want you to start working with your breathing techniques, right? I want you to start working with Rachaka. I want you to start working with alternative nostril breathing. I want you to start standing in horse stance. I want you to ground yourself. I want you to spend time just completely in a state of calmness and relaxation so that your body can be charged. Are you bored of sleeping? Right? I don't think you can be bored of sleeping. You need to sleep, right? Remember what I talked about pertaining to inertia, rest energy. That's what you're doing. You're rejuvenating your body. My God, people, you can reverse 20 to 30 years off your life by being in that rest energy as often as you can. That's how yogis live 150 to 200 years. They're full of rest energy. They're full of inertia, right? That's it. That's your fountain of youth. It's not in some stupid pill. It's not in some miracle drink or any other stupid technology thing. It's your rest energy. It's your inertia. You're in the center of inertia, right? That's what's going to enable you to live a very long time. That's what's going to enable you to have so much vitality. That's what's going to enable you to get so many things done, because you're just overflowing with rest energy. And that's what we do. We do the prep work. We stand in horse stance. We do Rachaka. We do alternate nostril breathing. Heck, we can do a lot of other different types of pranayama because that pranayama is helping you to move into rest energy, inertia. Then when we're there, we start looking at these thoughts that come up. Well, here's something that was traumatizing for me when I was a kid. Okay, surrender. Gone. We put it into a ball. We Om chant it away. We clear it away. That's trauma transcendence technique, right? There's even easier ways beyond TTT to how to do this. But you got to build yourself up with inertia. You got to build yourself up with rest. That's the key. All right? All right, everybody, we are out of time. So thank you, honey, for being part of the broadcast today. Thank you all for your donation-based questions. We had a lot of questions today. They were all great. I really appreciate them all. And we'll be back next week. Again, I'm going to try and get the Akashic Intelligence Report up here probably the next day or two or so. So thank you, everybody. Blessings to you all. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Take care. Bye for now.